Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we're going to take another look at the Dagger Micro C1. And we're going to take a look and see, when you buy one of these, what are the top 5 things that you're going to want to get with it. Let's get going. Okay everybody, so we're going to assume that you just got your brand new PSA Dagger Micro, and you got it home, and you test it out, go out to the range and you test it, and it's shooting and functioning perfectly. We're going to start with that. And we're going to go in order of things that I think are probably the least important for you to get your hands on to the most important for you to get your hands on. And so we'll start off in that order. So I think coming in at number 5 is going to be some Talon grips. I think they're just came out. They just released the Dagger Micro grips for it. This is the Pro version. You can see they just add a little bit of texture, a little bit of rubbery, a little bit of sandpapery so that you can grip. I think the Dagger Micro texture is okay, but as you can see there, it is pretty flat. There is not a lot of rise to that, and you compare that to the texture on these Talon grips. I've used the Talon grips on a number of other guns when I don't feel I have enough texture. I like these. When they rub up against me when I'm concealed carrying, they do just fine. So again, in at number 5, the grips. All right, so now going to number 4, this is also going to be a little bit controversial, but I decided to upgrade the trigger. Do you have to do that? No, you absolutely do not. But I got the Peacemaker from Tactical Pontoon, and I really like it. It didn't really lighten the trigger up, but it crisped it up quite a bit. So as you saw, there's nothing in the gun. There's nothing in the magwell. But it just makes this thing just a little bit take up and snap. No mushiness, none of that, and a very easy and tactile reset. So I have racked the slide. Just take a look at that reset, just a little bit, and boom, we're right back on it. So I really like this. There may be others out there, but I like Tactical Pontoon. He has his own YouTube channel, and you can check him out as well. So that is what in at number 4. You may want to do a new trigger on this in case something breaks, in case something goes down, not to enhance or modify your firearm, of course, in any way. And that is in at number 4. What are we going to talk about in at number 3? We're going to still go for something even more controversial, is a red dot. And for me, I always put a dot on every sidearm that I have that can hold a dot. I try to get one on. What I have on here is the Cap Pro. The optics footprint, you can choose them in different footprints for the Dagger Micro, but what I chose was the Holosun 507K, 407K, Shield, and RMSC footprint. But this Cap X Pro from Siley fits just well. I really like a circle dot reticle. Maybe others don't like that as much. I like that it has a side loading battery. I really like being able to set my zero out at 25 yards and be able to run this thing. I find I'm a lot more accurate. I'm a lot more confident and comfortable with it when I am target focused and just line that dot up over it. So in at number 3, we have our optic that we put on. Number 5 were the Talon grips. Number 4 was the Tactical Pontoon trigger. And number 3 was the Siley Cat X Pro red dot on it. So what are we coming in at number 2? The number 2 and number 1, I almost feel like you have to do. In at number 2, though, is this gun only comes with 1 magazine. So I recommend you get multiple magazines. When we eventually get to shooting today, we are going to be testing the reliability of this new magazine. When I bought the gun, I had this one, and I bought the 2 extra magazines with it. They were available, but these nice slick finishes aren't available right now, and they have sort of their standard magazine available, and so I picked one of these up because I wanted a 4th one. As I'm starting to carry it, I want to leave one in my range bag so that I don't have to worry about when I bring the gun out whether or not I have a magazine. If you've watched any of Trigger Bar's videos, we're a little bit of memory challenged when it comes to remember to get everything out to the range, and it is a chore, so I like to pack a little bit extra in case I forget something. All right, so let's take again. In at number 5, we had the Talon grips. And at number 4, the tactical pontoon trigger. And at number 3, we had the red dot optic. And at number 2 is extra magazines. And we're going to test today whether or not the stainless or this blued type finish, whether they function any differently. And so now the big reveal, and at number 1 is a holster. And when I did a video on this, and I'll leave a link to it, lots of people like, oh, I've never heard of the Enigma. Other people said, no, thank you. I don't carry appendix. Regardless of what you do, get yourself a nice holster that covers the trigger to make sure that you can carry this in a safe manner. Make sure that you follow all laws and know your own state, local, and federal laws so that you are not violating them when you are carrying a pistol. But I think absolutely you do nothing else to this gun. You have your 1 magazine that came from the factory. You have nothing else. You need a holster. And of course, the obvious one is you need ammunition. Well, those are our top 5. Let's get to shooting and see how this gun performs. All right, now that we have all the gun together, we're just going to shoot a few rounds in each magazine. And let's go through it and let's have some fun with the gun. This is that new magazine. Seems to run it just fine. All right. Seems to function just fine. Okay, so today we had a fun time. We had the Micro Dagger C1 out again, and we talked about what are the top 5 things that you can do with it. We talked about the Talon grips. We talked about the tactical pontoon trigger. We talked about the Siley Cap Pro or any type of red dot optic on it. We talked about getting some spare magazines. And finally, we talked about getting a holster for it. How do you have yours kitted up? Is this something that you're looking at it? Please let me know. Please put it in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. We'd greatly appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great week. Let's get to shooting.